welcome back to another of my videos. Welcome back all my lovely regular viewers, and if you're new to my channel, welcome. So that was the set that I'm going to create in today's video, and it's another one to add to my Halloween series, and of course all the acrylic I'm using. Oh no, it's not actually. The red I'm using is from Nails by John, and it is an amazing red, but all the rest of the acrylic is from Glitterbels. So I have already prepped my nails. I've applied my Stiletto nail tips and I've applied my clear base. So I'm going to start out on the middle finger, and I'm going to end with the Nails by John BJ13, which is this gorgeous red. So the Nails by John acrylic is designed to be used as a one bead acrylic, and it does take a little bit of getting used to, and it goes way beyond anything that we've ever been taught to do. Because when you pick up the bead of acrylic, it is so dry, and then when you try to put it on the nails, it's quite hard to actually get it to attach to the nails because it is so dry. And then obviously as when we were learning acrylics ourselves, we wanted to pick up a nice glossy bead before we placed it on the nails. So as I said, this just goes beyond anything that we've been taught. But yes, it is designed to be applied in one bead. It doesn't need capped because it does have its own strength built in. These stiletto tips are quite long, so if I remember, I don't get it right down to the very end because I was trying to build up my stress area. But if it doesn't reach the end, you can just go in with another bead, but let it sit just for a couple of seconds before you start to move it, so that curing process can start, because it will just come right off the nail as well. So it does take a little bit of getting used to, but once you try it, you will love it. Moving on to the thumbnail, and this is another full coverage of this red, but because the thumbnail is a wider nail and they are quite long, I'm not going to even attempt to do it in one bead because I just know that it would be impossible. And I'm also using a size 12 brush, which is quite small. I do know that I think John uses either a size 16 or a size 20 when he's lifting up his beads. So obviously the bigger the brush you have, the more product you can pick up. And I probably could pick it up if I was using a larger brush, but I'm happy enough just sticking to the 2 beads. Moving on now to the ring finger, and this is going to be a full coverage of the Carbon Black from Glitterbels. Now this is a product, as much as I love Glitterbels, Carbon Black is hateful. Oh my goodness, I just hate working with it. I think because it has so much pigment in it, it really doesn't move the way normal acrylic would. So I'm just putting on really wet, and I'm not even attempting to do it in one bead or anything like that. I'm just working so wet that I just want to get that nail covered, and then I'll build up the strength and durability of the nail when I come to cap it. I think further in the video you'll really get to see just exactly what I mean about the Carbon Black. On now to the little finger, and I'm going to do a dreaded red and black ombre. This is something I see all the time, you know, from other nail techs. whenever they're doing a black ombre, that it's an absolute nightmare. So I just thought I would test myself to do a black and red ombre. So I've already placed on the red. I always find it so much easier if you're doing an ombre nail to make the darker color the ombre color. So make that the last color that you use. So I'm going to go in with the black at the very, very bottom of the nail, working really, really wetly, and I'm just going to put it, just feather it up into that red as well. A lot of people use a transition color, you know, they would start off with the black and then use maybe a darker red and then in with a lighter red, but I've just went straight in with the black, as you can see, and I'm just working really, really wet. So I spread the color up as much as I can just to really, really thin it out, and then I'll go in and build up the black at the very, very tip just to make it really solid. Moving on now to the pointer finger, and this is going to be like a glass nail at the bottom with maybe looks like blood coming down into it. So I started off with the black, and I'm just going to really cover the cuticle area and the nail bed area with that and just fade it out. Then I'm going to take some of that red and just do lines to look like blood just dripping down the nails, and then I'll go in and ombre the red up into the black as well. So taking a bead of red, I'm ombreing it up over the black, and you can see why I did it the other way on my little finger. I definitely think ombreing with the darker colour just works out so much better. So that is all the coloured acrylic on. All that's left to do now is to cap them with the glass slippers. I'm only going to show one of the nails being capped though, just to keep the length of the video down, and they are all capped exactly the same way. Now that all the glass slippers has cured, I'm going to go in and file and shape the nails. So again, just to keep the length of the video down, I am only going to show one of the nails being filed and shaped. So I'm just starting out with my normal board file, and I'm starting out on the side walls just to make sure that they are nice and straight. Then I'll go to the lower arch to make sure they're nice and straight. When I'm filing and shaping a stiletto nail, I prefer to leave the point of the nail right to the very end. So now I'm going in with my fine 5-in-1 e-file bit just to go around the cuticle area and the sidewalls, just to make sure that they are nice and flush, and then I'll just run it over the entire nail, just making sure that there's no obvious lumps and bumps. So once I've done that, I'll go back to my hand file and just really define the shape, get the tip, the point really sharp, and then I'll just finish off with my buffer. So all the nails will be done in exactly the same way. Now that they've all been filed and shaped, I'm just rubbing them down with some alcohol just to remove any of the dust and debris, and then I'll move on to the next stage. So this is just some nail foil transfer gel that I'm applying on the back of a stamping plate. So before I apply the foil adhesive to the nail, I'm going to just apply a matte top coat to that nail, and then I'm going to use the transfer gel and I'm going to create blood lines. So you probably might not see it too well because obviously it's clear, but once I cure that for 30 seconds, in fact I do actually cure it for 60 seconds, just through experience of working with other transfer gels, I prefer just to make sure that it's fully cured before I apply the foil on it. So you can see I'm marking out all the blood dots with my dotting tool, and then just using a striper pen to create the dripping lines as well. This is the red foil that I'm using, so I'm just cutting off a strip of it and I'm going to press it on top of that foil adhesive and then just rip it back as if I was pulling off like a wax strip. So don't be worrying too much if there's any of the foil got on the rest of the nail, because I'm going to go in now with a non-white glossy top coat and just go over all those the blood drips. And then once that is cured, I can wipe over the whole nail and that'll take off any of the excess foil that might be on the black. For the rest of the nails, I'm just applying a normal non-wipe glossy top coat, and then I'll do some 3D flowers on top of them. So then I just remembered that I needed the middle nail just to be like a matte surface, because I'm going to apply one of the water decals, and you need a matte surface for those to adhere to it. So these are just little skull decals, they are available on my website, and I will pop the link below of any of the products that I've used in today's video. So I just placed them in some water for around 10 seconds. I've cut as close to the picture as possible. So these are little skulls that I'm going to place on the middle finger. So here I just didn't place it in the water for long enough, so I've just popped it back in. But because it is like an off-white colour, I just thought that it's a little bit too bright against these nails. So once I place it on the nails, I do go over with another matte top coat, and then I go over with some black gel that I've just watered down with some clear top coat, and it just sort of burnishes that skull a little bit, and I just think it looks much better. Once I finished all the nails, you'll see what I mean and the reason why I did this. The next step is just to reapply that glossy top coat over this nail, and then I'll go in and do the 3D flowers. So while the first bead that I picked up on this, I got a telephone call. So you can see that I put the bead on my nails and then I take it straight off the nails, because I got a lovely telephone call just to say that my granddaughter was on her way and they were heading up to the hospital. So I was so pleased, but I came back and finished off the nails. So as you can see, I normally, when I'm doing a 3D flower, pick up a nice wet bead and I drain any liquid from it, but you just can't do that with carbon black because it really doesn't flow the way normal acrylic would. So I'm not even draining the brush out. I'm working really wet. And you do see me on some of the nails, I actually apply more monomer alone just to them, just so there's enough liquid in it, just so that I can move it about and try and create the shape of a flower. Working with the black acrylic, it is really hard to see, especially on camera, just the shape of the flowers that I'm trying to create. So I do hope you can kind of see what I'm doing. So I'm just going to, I'll try and zoom in as much as I can and just let you watch me create the flowers. So moving on now to the pointer finger, and I thought instead of using the black carbon on this nail, I would do the flower with the Nails by John Red. So because it's a slow setting acrylic, it kind of is working the same way as the carbon black. So yeah, it's a bit tricky. At least working with the red acrylic, you can kind of see the definition of the flower. With the black, it's just so hard to see the definition. Just to finish the red flower off with just a single leaf, and then that is this set done. Once I'd finished the flower on that is this set done. So here is the finished set. I hope you've enjoyed the video. You know what to do. If you have, give it a thumbs up, and I will be back with another video. But here is my beautiful granddaughter. I'm in love with her already. So take care, everyone. See you soon. Bye.